Busy show today. We continue now on Central Valley Talk. I'm Mike Scott, joined by Bob Schultz, the founder of Restoring Freedom Ministries out in Clovis. Bob, you told me it's a men's ministry, been around for a while now?
It is. I started it 3 years ago out of brokenness in my own life, divorce, addiction issues in my past, and God set me free, and I'm just trying to help as many men break free from those chains that I went through. And
how did you make that turn from bad to good?
I basically just at one point just came to the end of myself and just.
Were you on the street?
No. I was, for me, I was married and had a daughter that was 2, and I had a son that was turning 1, and I struggled with addiction on and off for a long time.
Alcohol, drugs?
Alcohol, drugs, anything to take me out of and what happened was I missed my son's first birthday.
Oh.
And out of that, about 3 in the morning, I got down on my hands and knees and I just cried out to God, God help me. And out of that, about a month later, I ended up going to a men's retreat, and everything begins when we come to the end of ourselves, and in the prodigal story, it talks about that as far as when he came to his senses, and everybody, their bottom is something different. That was mine, so.
It really is true that you can't force somebody to make a change. They have to hit bottom and want to make that change themselves.
Right, and that's what we're there for. We're there for guys that are broken, and they, whether it's, a lot of them don't have addiction issues. A couple of them, their wives just left, and they're broken. They don't know what to do, and they've joined and part of who we are. We've had like 75 guys in the last 3 years. About 35 40 are part of our group, and then 20 to 25 every week show up, and just keeps growing. Okay. One guy brings in a guy because he's hurting, and it's word of mouth.
So it's not a church. It's a.
No.
How would you describe it?
It's a men's group. The guys, there's a guy, Matt Chandler, out of Texas, that says it's okay to not be okay. Just, and a lot of times in church, we think that, our focus is on behavior. You need to change your behavior in order to conform. Instead, it's the heart needs to be transformed. And once the heart's transformed, the behavior changes. It's called Restoring Freedom Ministry for that reason, experiencing the fullness of life that God has for us.
Yeah. Is it similar to a 12-step program?
I come out of I started Celebrate Recovery at our church back in 2002, so it's got a little bit of that, but not as formatted. It's more the community aspect is a big focus, because people can come in and come out of church every week for 2 years and nobody really know anything about them. Right. That veneer, that Christian veneer that can happen. We're getting a lot deeper, and it's about truly loving our brother right where he is and helping him to get out of wherever he is, and encouraging people that are in the beginning when you've been through it, and just being there for each other. We call each other every day, pray with each other, and it's an amazing place to be.
Is it hard to get some guys to open up for the first time? And most guys have that tough exterior and don't want to admit that their lives are falling apart.
I hear that all the time, but it's amazing how if you have the format, and it's that if they know they're not going to be judged, right? That's the key. A lot of times there's that stigma, that's why a lot of times in church when we go in, we feel like we have to pretty ourselves up before we can actually, there's that fear of being judged. But if you come into an environment where there's that fear's taken away, where they're hearing other guys being real transparent with their struggle, whether that's with pornography, alcohol, drug addiction, you name it, and they aren't being judged. Instead, they're trying to be guided in a way of breaking free from the chains of whatever it is that keeps them in that place. It's all about freedom. It's
restoring freedom.
Right, and even freedom from the bitterness of going through a nasty divorce. It's getting to the end of that. Nelson Mandela said that bitterness is like swallowing poison, thinking you're going to hurt the other person. You're just damaging yourself by staying in that place. So it's walking people through the process of finding that freedom and fullness of life. That's what we do. We got a guy that cooks every Tuesday night for our group, and great meals every Tuesday night.
So it's once a week on
Once
Tuesday?
a week, yeah. But it's every day we're, I've talked to 5 guys today from our group, That's part of, the community part of it's huge to me. It's
Yeah.
a passion that I have.
So you want folks to know that you're out there and
We're
they can
out
take
there
part?
and we're just there to serve. Anybody that's hurting, there's no financial, nothing. It's just out of the love of God that I've experienced. I want to share that with other people.
So no money changes
No
hands?
money.
Well, how do you, there have to be some costs involved.
I've learned to live on little. We had a wholesale sandwich company for almost 40 years, a family business, sold it, not for much, but, and then I worked 2 days a week for the company we sold it to, and that's how I make my living. And wherever I go, I'm able to share the love of God with people.
This is your passion now.
It is, and even when I am in Bakersfield doing the sandwich thing, I have a homeless ministry down there where I am able to love on people that everybody walks by, and you know what I mean. A lot of people they're the forgotten people, but because I know that I'm loved and accepted, I can love unconditionally. Big difference. I lived in self-centeredness for a long time in my life, and I'm not there anymore.
Yeah. So Bob, how do folks reach you? How do they find you?
My phone number, 559-472-8817, or we have a website, restoringfreedomministries.org, or email is teamrestoringfreedom@gmail.com.
Can they just show up on Tuesday nights?
Yeah, Tuesday night, 6:45 at 698 North Minnewawa. It's at New Harvest Church. I have an amazing pastor, a guy named Mitch Rivera, that's seen me through some dark times in my life and is totally on board with what we're doing.
Okay, what would be the cross street there, Minnewawa? And
It's right across, it's near Minnewawa and Herndon.
Herndon. Okay.
Yeah, it's right across from the Clovis Fire Station.
Yeah. All right. Bob, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bob Schultz, Restoring Freedom Ministries, here on Central Valley Talk.